Alright guys, so it looks like we should be back online. Let me know if anything is not working. Back to where we were. So this is your Ryzen 5 5600 CPU that we're going to be installing into the B550 motherboard. And then this is our 1TB M.2 NVMe SSD. Looks good, awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, it looks like everything's online right now. I don't even know if it went down. If it did, it dropped maybe a couple. But we should be buffered enough where you probably didn't see it drop. But the Xfinity guy is cool and he's let me run with the service right now, so working with me. Alright, so we've got our RAM installed, our CPU installed, and our 1TB M.2 installed. So I'm going to go ahead and set this over here aside. We're going to get this case prepped so that we can put a motherboard in here. Glass panel, lift it off. Take the back panel off. 2 thumb screws on the back to do that. That glass panel is just a door, so it just pulls away from the magnet and lifts off the hinge. We have access to the back of the PC here. And getting our hardware out from the back. This is what we're going to need to mount the motherboard in the case, as well as mount other components. All right. It looks like we have to add a couple of studs here, one here and here, to support the board. We also have our back I/O shield to put in here. There we go. Max. You already know he's coming back in, bud. Alright, so now we can just drop this motherboard in here. and start mounting it with its screws. All right, so motherboard is installed, looking good. Now we could probably start working on the AIO, but before I do that, because we're going to put an AIO up here, the radiator and the fans, it's going to be blocking some of this. I want to get the power supply in here and get our EPS cable plugged in before we put that AIO in. So we're going to put this power supply in real quick. That way we're not blocking our cable connections. This is a 750 watt bronze ATX semi-modular power supply. That's bronze certified. We've got 1,000,001 twist ties here on the cables. Just bear with me as I untwist these twist ties. If you follow me, you'll understand I love twist ties. I only deal with 5,000. Instead of a PC build count, we should do a twist tie count. See how many twist ties I deal with in a year. Alright, so we got that all set, so we're just going to go ahead and slide this into the case, to the back. Then we're going to use 4 screws to mount it to the back of the case, and that's what's going to hold it in place. Power supply is what delivers power to the entire PC. A lot more behind the power side of PC. This is what converts it, delivers to all the components. It's always important to have a power supply in your PC. I've been using this brand for a while. Their support's good. I believe this one has a 5-year warranty on it. So manufacturer is backing their product for 5 years, which is impressive. I need a CPU EPS cable, this guy. And we'll send that up through the back of the case, the front, so we can get that plugged in. Right there. Easy. Lemon squeezy. Alright, so now we have the addressable RGB port, which is important for us to get, as well as our CPU fan. If we are going to use the pump, which I think this one does require, Then we also have a pump connection up here, top corner as well. So let's get the AIO out, which is our CPU cooler, and get started working on this. Number 600, sir. We hit it. So it's going to be mounted like this in the case, and our fans on our wires on our fans are not pointed the right way. They're pointed towards the front, so we got to swap this around a little bit. Well, unfortunately, we have to unmount the fans and remount them. No big deal. Takes just a couple of minutes here. And just like that, we have our fans swapped around to the right position. They are set in as exhaust, so we'll be exhausting out the top of the case, pushing the air through the radiator. And that will assist the rest of the system by keeping it pretty much cool. This is not dumping the heat from the CPU back into the system, whereas a front-mounted radiator would be doing that. Which is why we always try to put the radiators at the top of the PC now, top of the case. Pretty much the standard nowadays. All right, so there we go. We got our fans flipped around to the right position. One more second. Yes. Oh. Delivery. Yes. All right. So busy day over here. Can't catch a break. All right. So now I'm gonna get the fan splitter plugged into the CPU header, fan header. But that's already plugged in, ready to go. The last things we need to deal with is this guy and this guy. Those just chain off to each other, right? Yep. Here. Again. Pump thing. I'm going to use the hub in the back rather than trying to deal with that extra wire. tell if it's plugged in all the way or not. That's right. We'll call it. Alright, so now let's get this AIO installed. We need some screws from here though. And this pump that we need to get installed as well, plugged in. Go. More twist ties. Always a twist tie. Twist ties. Twist tie after twist tie after twist tie. Now what I'm doing is trying to feed the cables through the back of the PC so that they're not going to be floating around the front of the PC, because that's where we want all of our cables, is in the back. Kind of keeps the front of the PC nice and clean, and we can manage the cables on the back side of the PC. Want to get my last wire through here. Go. Then we're pretty much golden. Mount this bad boy. It just gets mounted here from the top. Radiator. Quite a few screws. So I'll get one screw on each end at least. It'll be able to hold its own weight. Or you just drop your screwdriver. That helps too. Then I'll use the rest of the screws here to finish mounting it up. There we go. Radiator is mounted to the top of the PC now. Just want to go in the back, make sure we pull any of the cables, extra cable length through. Beautiful. And we can take a look at it on this side for now. We'll take care of these cables. They'll get pushed into the back here once we get this mounted. We got our bracket attached. And now we just need some thermal paste. This is thermal grizzly paste. Some top shelf, high quality stuff. That's all we use here. This way we don't have to replace the paste every 6 months. Should last at least a year. No, it's okay. 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's the end of the interruptions. So our business service is installed, but we're not running on it, obviously, because we're still streaming. Still running on the home. So that's done. Cool. Alright, so let's get this CPU block onto our CPU. All right, there we go. So we got our CPU block, at least on the hardware here. We're just going to tighten this down a bit. Apply some pressure onto the CPU. Got to clean up this cable a little bit. Good cable cleanup. Found it, and then we gotta go and stuff this guy somewhere. All right, there we go. Once I get back there and start zip tying stuff, it'll kind of help clean it up a bit. But we got our CPU cooler installed, so that's a plus. And this other hardware here would be for an Intel CPU, which we are running AMD. Do not need this hardware. Well, we're making some good progress here. So now, really all that's left is getting the pieces from the case plugged in, plugging our graphics card in, getting our power supply plugged in. Then we should be pretty much golden here. Ready to fire up. Hey, what's up? Jay Manny, how's it going over there on Twitch? I'm doing pretty good over here. I hope you're doing good too. I'm trying to get the system fans plugged in, and this is our front power connection, power button, flash, reset, that stuff. That fed through so we can get those plugged in. And since we're here, we may as well take the 24-pin power cable for our motherboard, feed that through, get that plugged in. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the front for now. Alright, so our power reset switch, or power HD LED, hard drive LEDs. So HD LED is what produces light when the hard drive activity is happening, or SSD activity. So it puts an indicator light up at the top of the case for you and lets you know it's working, or reading, or writing. And there's a power LED light, or cable here, that will tell you that the system has powered on. Then there's a little connector for the power switch. All it does is bridge two pieces of metal. You push the switch to actually send signal on the board to power on. Then our HD audio, which is our front panel audio connection. So if you wanted to plug your headset into the front, do so. This connection on the front of the PC, which plugs directly into the motherboard here. Good, finishing up the remodeling. I thought you already sold. Or you were selling. Didn't you already sell? I thought you would be long gone by now. Like, and this big fat one, this one is our USB 3.0. Front panel USB 3.0. So you have a USB 3.0 on the front. This is what feeds that. Plug your phone in. You're you're going to want to plug it into the USB 3.0 header, or if you plug in a flash drive or something here at the top of the case, you want to make sure it's in a blue one, which is USB 3.0. And that's a much faster connection than your traditional USB 2.0. Data transfer speeds are way faster. This is our 24-pin connection here. For the motherboard, that's what provides power to the motherboard. The CPU power cable up here, the UPS cable that I talked about and did earlier, that's what provides power to the CPU, which is under the block now. Alright, so we've got pretty much everything connected here. On the front side that we need connected, I guess we could throw the graphics card in. Let's go ahead and do that. Gotta punch these out of the back here. And the RTX 3060 ready to go in. Making sure there's no peels that I missed. That just slots into the PCIe slot, PCIe 16. And then there's just two screws on the back side here that holds the card in place. While it's in slot, there's also a clip that holds it in place. So it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay in there pretty well. Not going anywhere. Then we flip it over and we see a nightmare of cables. So we got to clean this up. And we still have to send power to the GPU. Gonna be this guy. Gonna feed it through the bottom here and up into the case through the PCIe hole for PCIe power for the graphics card. I forgot this card had two. And the second one is here as well. We want two separate cables. We do not want to use daisy chain option for graphics cards. Always want to use a separate thing, separate cable. Power. For each power connection, you want to use a separate cable. Graphics card. Even though power supply companies give you this little daisy chain connection, you don't ever want to use both of them on the card, because this cable is rated for 75 watts. This port, one port, is going to be asking for 75 watts. Now, if you have a cable plugged into two ports and it's asking for 150 watts on a 75 watt cable, you're going to have a problem. It's going to underperform, or the cable's going to heat up and melt. Don't want that. When's the next giveaway? Next giveaway might be happening sooner than you think. I can only leave it at that. The reason why I say that is because the announcement thing might be tied to something. I was going to do the H9 flows, give those away. Got two left here. Apparently nobody wants PC build in the H9 flow all of a sudden. So they were screaming for it for like a month as soon as they came out. What's wrong? Hold on 1 second. What's wrong? What's the matter? Oh, she didn't. She made you leave the room? Your big sister? Fourth of July sale. Hold on, we gotta play with the mic. We gotta play with the microphone. Girls are going bye-bye. All right, there we go. RTX 3060 Gaming X installed. Well, what do you think is sus? 4th of July sale. I don't know if the 4th of July sale is going to happen. Not that I don't want to celebrate America. Just, I'm not getting any good deals for the hardware to build with. So it makes it kind of difficult to pass that savings down. Right, here we go. Got remaining pieces that we got to plug in here. Then we can fire this bad boy up. Cable management. Forgot about cable management, but I mean, I didn't forget about it. It's just there. It's obvious. Obviously, we got cable management. tie time. This is the, it's your grandma's birthday. Nice. It's also, I don't know if it's the exact day, but Brantlee's. Anyway, we're celebrating here on the stream. But happy birthday to your grandma, sir. Agent Smith. Wish her happy birthday for me. Part of the street. Actually, over here, my puppy. Spring, I am. Get this. Okay. Couple more zip ties and we fire this bad boy up. All right. All right, Brantlee, you've seen probably enough of my streams to know, but is this some good cable management or no? Is that acceptable for you? You happy with that? There we go. So we're all built up and ready to go. Let's just clean this mess we made over here real quick. Then we can get it plugged in and fired up. All the extra hardware out of the build is going with the PC, so it'll be included. That way, if you ever go to upgrade anything or add any hardware, you have all the screws for it. All the hardware will be there. All right, so let's get this thing plugged in and see what it looks like fired up for the first time. See if I built it right. He says yes. Awesome. I've been having issues with my capture card. Not issues, I've been just finding out lower resolution BIOS screens don't like to display on the capture card or get picked up. I'm going to run it and I'll swap over and see if it gets picked up. I don't think it's going to. I'm 99% sure it's not going to. But we're in Windows. Alright. Let's swap the screen here. That way you can see it fired up for the first time. Are you ready for this? Needs more RAM. Poorly hung, you know, we're gonna talk about this every time. You know, 16 gigs is more than enough for gaming, and there's 2 extra slots. We can add more RAM. You always need more RAM. All right, guys, ready to see it? Ready to push the power button and see what it looks like? Yes? Well then, here we go. Yes. Excellent. This is your side view. We didn't put the glass on because the light from everywhere is going to be reflecting off of it. But we got RGB RAM, we got RGB fans, we got an RGB CPU block, we got an RGB graphics card. You're going to get an RGB tan sitting next to this thing. Not a farmer's tan, it's going to be an RGB tan. Don't think too deeply on that. And I see a keyboard post, and we got a post. It's saying, welcome, you've started me for the first time, let's play. But it's more like, let's configure me. So, next up we got to install Windows, and right here I've got Windows 10 or Windows 11. Did we want Windows 10 or Windows 11 Professional on here? Which version, 10 or 11? 11 would probably be ideal if you don't want to have to deal with the update later, because eventually Microsoft is going to force you to 11. But sometimes I get people who prefer 10 over 11. Got it. Going to 11. Not 10, we're going to 11. Turn it up to 11. Wonder if that's what they were talking about in their board meeting when they were trying to decide on the next version number for Microsoft Windows. Let's go to 11. That's a very old person joke. If you don't understand it, that means you're young. Joke / reference. And I guess you have to be somewhat of a musician or somebody who likes music enough. Spinal Tap. You love that case? Yeah, this is the Montech Air 100. One of the best valued micro ATX cases out there. Number one, you could put a 240 millimeter on the top. Number two, got tempered glass side panel. Number three, it's got the front mesh, which by the way looks pretty badass. Excuse my French. Let me see if I could spin this around and show you. I mean, it looks pretty good. On top of the fact that it's a mesh, so it'll suck in air. Easy to maintain. The front just pops right off, so you can clean this when you need to. And then just put it right back on. Easy peasy. Plenty of room in the back to play with your cable management. Yep, I'm old. It's okay. It's okay to be old. I'm there with you. Windows 11 Pro is off to the races. We are installing now. We could be old together. So getting files ready for installation. Well, there we go. We got the PC built. Now I just got to finish the Windows installation, the BIOS update, setting the XMP profile for the RAM, going through doing all the driver installations, all the Windows updates, and also doing some configuration in Windows, as well as running some benchmarks on it to make sure everything is performing where it should be, and cooling where it should be. And it's kind of nice. I say it's nice. It's physically, it's not nice and pleasing here right now. It's a little warm in here. We're not running the AC, so it's a little warm in here. And it's nice for PCs, especially when you're benchmarking, because you want it to get hot. I want to make sure that that cooler is cooling that CPU and that graphics card's staying cool, and that the airflow is working. So having a cool room kind of for what I'm doing and testing makes it take longer. So the warm ambient temperature makes it go faster, so I can hit those hot temps quicker. It's peaks. So with that being said, I should have this PC ready a little bit later today. I will keep you guys posted once I do have it ready to go. I'll let you guys know, and if you guys want to come pick it up today, you're more than welcome to swing by and grab it once I tell you it's all set. So, sound good? We also got the rest of the order here, which is the monitor, the headset, and then the special gift for the birthday boy. What CPU is it? It is the Ryzen 5 5600 under there. No problem. You're welcome, Steph. So, poorly, it is a Ryzen 5 5600 on a B550 MSI Pro Series VC micro ATX motherboard with 16 gigabytes of DDR4 3200 CL16 by Silicon Power, 1 terabyte M.2 by Silicon Power, and a MSI RTX 3060 MSI Gaming X video card. The cooler is by Thermalright. This is the Frozen Note. You probably haven't seen very many of these. They've pretty much just hit the market not too long ago. I've used them a couple of times, and I've really liked their performance. Overall, it's been outstanding. So I really like them. Their tower air coolers have done or are rated really high as well. So I thought we'd give them a try. They're working great. I've liked them. So I highly recommend them if you're looking for a decent cooler that will go in a micro ATX case. They also have a 360 millimeter version of this as well. And I think they might have 280. But outside of that, we have a 750 watt 80 plus bronze power supply in there, which is semi-modular, but I put all the cables in there and stuffed it into the basement down here. And then we have 3 120 millimeter addressable RGB fans on the front, 1 in the rear. So overall, the system's going to perform well and should stay cool. It's going to be an awesome rig. Yes, sir. It's his very first gaming PC, and it's his birthday PC. So we wanted to try to make it as special as we could. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. Just waiting on that Windows install. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this stream up. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and watching Brantlee's PC, birthday PC, come to life. And make sure you stop in and catch the next stream. We are going to be streaming a pretty cool custom build tomorrow. We might have 2 builds tomorrow, depending on if I have enough time to do both. And also depending on if paint dries quick enough. Happy birthday! So, alright guys, see you next stream. Have a good rest of your Friday. Happy gaming.
Thank you.